Welcome to the Nintendo Show, episode 57. I'm your co-host, Evan Moon, and with me, as always, Trevor Payne. Trev, how you doing, man?
Dude, I am here. I'm a broken man, but I'm here. I'm a one-armed bandit, I think is what they say. I don't know. Is that the terminology?
I believe so.
I have one arm right now,
Dude,
Devin.
I know.
One arm.
Trev will talk about his arm in a sec. I know you're all confused. This week, we are talking about Nintendo coming back to E3 and getting into your questions because, hey, there's not much going on. Remember, listener, if you want to be part of the show, visit our website at nintendoshow.com where you can send us your questions, comments, concerns to be implemented into this very show. Trev, are you ready to enter the mysterious world we call Mr. Miyamoto's Magical News?
Woohoo!
That's what I'm talking about. Number one, Trev, Nintendo has announced that they will be showing up at this year's E3 digital event. What do we expect from Nintendo this year? What would you like to see from Nintendo this year? Will there be another direct? These are the things that we'll try to get into. First off, what do we expect? What do you think will happen? This is like our tempered expectations, right? Because Nintendo never hits full on Monty with what we want it to happen. What's like one thing that you expect to happen?
One thing I expect to happen is some kind of direct. It's interesting because they've always done their Nintendo Directs and things during E3 and not necessarily done like a stage show, but they've been on the show floor. In this case, there's no show floor. So honestly, I think we're just going to get something similar to like a Nintendo Direct styled type of thing for E3 specifically. Pie in the sky, Devin.
Yeah.
I would love them to drop a virtual. So in VR, you can walk around their showroom that they set up, some kind of virtual showroom that you can go explore in VR. That's 100% what's going to happen.
I believe so.
And I look forward to it.
First off, I just got to remark that is a brilliant idea. And Nintendo does have the means to do it with their cardboard virtual reality, their labo. I think that needs to be used more often, and frankly I haven't had it taken out for years, so I think this is a great time to bring that bad boy back and strap that onto my head and get into there. I would love to see Link in real life size, just dance in front of me. Totally. Some twinkle, all that crap.
He's like 3 feet tall though.
Yeah.
We were all surprised. We had no idea.
Lied to. And this isn't the cartoon Link. That's the real size Link. The cartoon one is one and a half.
He's
1 foot
incredibly short.
Yeah, incredibly short.
Yeah, everybody's just shocked. Everybody's just like, well, this is not what I was expecting.
Is this canon?
And that will be the big news from E3.
Yes,
I think it is. Yes.
Yeah, it's a surprise to all of us. It is canon. And you can look it in your Hyrule book.
Yeah, your Hyrule Historia. There we go.
We will be seeing definitely a direct. I think the thing that E3 might be presenting is most likely the Treehouse crap. And I don't mean crap. Treehouse stuff. The Treehouse stuff. Most likely that, because it seems like
I forgot about the Treehouse.
Yeah, the old Treehouse. We'll probably get some of that. It's Treehouse. Trev, do you like Treehouse? You a fan of Treehouse? You like what they do there, or you just get bored after a while and you're just like, moving on?
I like the Treehouse. Like the Treehouse is cool. I think it's fun. It seems like very like chill and relaxed, and it's not this like super high production thing. It's just like, hey, come hang out with us and watch us play some games, and we'll talk about it, and we'll do some interviews. So I can get on board with that. I think that'd be neat. It would be cool if they do something bombastic and huge, for E3, but I don't think that they will. But Treehouse Live it's some fun stuff, man. I'll watch it. What about you?
Yeah, I think Treehouse is just as dependent on the games for me. Like, so a lot of the time I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch 50 minutes of Damon X Machina or what have you. But yeah,
you're missing out.
Oh, I know. I think I am. Not for me. I'm sure it's for somebody, but not for me. Yeah. So I expect, I really do think we'll see that. And if they're showing me more Breath of the Wild 2, like an hour of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be there. That's bombastic enough for me. But dude, yeah, I'd be down for even like, I would like a cool set. I would like to see some festivities. We've been through some stuff. Yeah. We've all been through the COVID. We all survived. We made it through, kind of. We're not all done, but we're getting there. And I think we deserve a 3-foot Link. A 3-foot
I
link.
think so too. I don't know why we keep going back to this, but I'm on board. And it's honestly with like the treehouse stuff. It's something I've always had on in the background as I'm doing other stuff, and I kind of like tangentially like listen and then watch it here and there, so because it is a lot of just sitting around watching someone play a game. So and that's not my personal favorite thing. I'd rather be playing them, but it is something I will definitely put on, watch, see what's happening.
Yeah, and I even wonder. People are like thinking demos might be a possibility. I don't know if that sounds like
Oh, that would
Nintendo
be
to me, but that
cool.
would be cool
It
if they did
doesn't.
that. No, definitely
It
doesn't sound
doesn't, but
like
it
them.
sure would be cool if they're like, "Hey, we have these are our big games coming out this fall. Here's a couple demos for you to try since we don't have a show floor for people to play."
Yeah,
Like that would be so legit. Is like to have like a little E3 section on their eShop with like news and like demo drops and stuff.
but again, not doesn't sound like Nintendo to me, not at all. But it'd
No.
be cool. It'd be great to see. As far as games wise, what do we expect to see? I definitely think we'll see Breath of the Wild 2. Do you think we're going to definitely see it, or it's still maybe in your
Yes.
your heart? Okay.
No, I think we're to the point that like we will see it. Now release date, I don't know. I still feel like that's up in the air if we'll get an actual release date, whether it's later this year or start of next year or whatever. But I think that we do see it. It's been long enough. They've talked about it long enough. This is the moment to bring it forward, show us what this game is going to be all about, and let's get our little eyeballs on this bad boy, dude. So I think we'll see it.
Yeah, for sure. It's getting, if they didn't, the oof, the ramifications, Trev, very not good for
Yeah,
Nintendo. A bad look for sure. And I don't think they want that, even if they're not even ready for the game, which I don't think they're ready for the game to be done until maybe next year. Even if
sure.
that's the case, I think they need to show it. And it has to be some
Yeah.
kind of dungeon kind of thing, and then maybe showing what this new world is, if it's a new world. So that's kind of what I'm expecting.
Yeah, they have something they can show us, Um, so I even just like I guess I am to the point where I don't know if I just want like a little intro movie kind of trailer thing. Like I probably want a little bit more deep dive, but at this
Yeah.
point I'll take anything.
Yeah, I don't know if I need more kind of trailery stuff. I definitely would love to see gameplay. I think we're ready for gameplay. They can obviously do
Yeah.
a little bit of a story trailer. Maybe they do that and then they do
Hmm.
the whole gameplay with the E3 thing. That would make sense. But
That'd be cool.
yeah, dude, it's gameplay time. It's gameplay time and it's Breath of the Wild 2 time for sure. Metroid, it is 35th anniversary for Metroid. People are crying in the streets. Give us Prime Trilogy. Give it
They
to us.
forgot.
Yeah, they totally forget. They always they always forget that
They forgot
beautiful girl.
they have multiple children, and it's like the favorite child gets celebrated, and then the one they totally forgot they even had this kid. Dude, it's messed up. Like what irresponsible parents Nintendo are.
Yeah, abusive parents, really. I mean, forgetting your children's birthday again and again and again is really quite sad. Do we think there will be any 2D Metroid news, any Metroid Prime Trilogy news, anything like that? Would you expect some Metroid in here this year?
We're gonna get something. Like we are going to get something Metroid because like they even though it won't be as widely celebrated as the Legend of Zelda, but they will. And honestly, I think this is when we see the Game Boy Advance games come to Nintendo, and then they'll show like Zero Mission and Fusion and things like that, and be like, "Hey, we've done something. Actually did nothing, but we've just made it so you can play them again." Um, so there might be something like that because like I would love to replay through those games again. I have like 1,000 ways to do so, but hey, it would be kind of cool to do it on a Nintendo platform.
That's a good way to kind of introduce Metro. Like Metroid, really during that generation was having a pretty good high. You had Fusion, all that stuff. So maybe this is a
Oh
good time to
yeah.
be like, look, that's not the only Metroid that's coming. We got the heavy hitters from Game Boy Advance. I do think we'll get some Metroid. I just do not think Metroid Prime Trilogy. I know it's a thing. I do believe it's a thing. I just don't know if we're quite ready for it. It might be next year.
Well,
Uh
yeah, and I don't
yeah.
know if, especially if we're going to be getting some kind of like Zelda collection, which a lot of people are feeling that we are. It would be weird to get these like back to back collections. Like that just seems weird on a business standpoint, like I think that they would probably want to space that out a little bit. And Link always comes.
Yep, he always does. And that's the other thing. I am expecting that we will see both Twilight Princess and Wind Waker probably in a pack in, hopefully. Definitely with Skyward Sword coming in. They're not going to pack all three together because no, that would be dumb because money
Yeah, and we'll probably get some Pokemon stuff too. Is
for
with
sure.
get more information about Legends Arceus or whatever it is, Arcus
Yeah.
or Arcanum,
Yep.
and then
Arcana.
Diamond and Pearl. I think I would love to watch some more of that stuff. So, and
Yeah.
the Pokemon MOBA coming to
Mo-
mobile phones.
oh,
Everybody is pins and needles waiting for that.
is there some random thing we're missing? Is there something special that you would like to see? I know, I think we're going to see all the summer stuff, right? We're going to see, we'll see Skyward Sword again. Maybe they'll show up a little bit more of the changes. I think we're going to see Mario Golf again. I think that comes out in June ish. So they'll probably be
Oh
like,
yeah, that's right.
yeah, they'll probably be like show us a little bit
Totally.
of more of that. I think they're just going to show. Hopefully, my hope is that it's just like a tiny segment and that they show off the things that we already know about, and then hopefully they go into the big guns.
Yeah.
And yeah, I honestly don't. If you have games like Metroid, which I hope is a 2D game, and then we have Breath of the Wild 2 on here. I don't know if you need much more than that for an E3. Like if you have Breath of the Wild 2, I think you're golden for the year. Yeah, especially with the other Zeldas. Pie in the sky for us. Something that's you think would be out of left field. We mentioned the Switch Pro. We always will mention the Switch Pro. I think the Switch Pro does seem like if you're going to do it, this would be a good place to do it. E3 is a classic for representing your console, showing it off, especially Trev. Something is percolating in my mind. Why would they be at E3? Is there something big that they're trying to show off?
They want to show their big old thing to
They
everybody.
might be. They might be like, okay, we're gonna sit down, show that big old thing to everybody. Trevor paid. Yeah.
That's a good point because they have been able to. They've been doing their own thing for so long, and why? Like, there's no reason for them to even do this unless you're right. Maybe there is something more exciting happening that they're going to be bringing to the table. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and they've recent comments have been a little bit more like open to the idea now. The president's like, "Yes, maybe, maybe there should be." When 6 months ago he's like,
Hmm.
"Never, we would never do a Switch Pro." Liars. The other thing,
I know.
the other thing he mentioned was a new IP. It would be great to see new IP.
Oh
That's the one thing
yes.
I'd love to see from Nintendo. And for me, dude, get away from the multiplayer. Get away from all of like the I don't a lot of games these days is just like how do we keep people playing this game for a long time, and like how do we keep the audience
Yeah.
involved and make it online connected and all that garbage. I understand that financially, but I would love to have a game that's like a single player like adventure game. I would like to see a different type of game that's not Zelda that can play in that space. I would like a new IP that kind of plays in a different realm outside of multiplayer, that is a little more like adult friendly, still for kids, but like teenagers, adults, and something that
Sure.
is
Yeah.
like more, I don't know, bound to a single player experience. I'm kind of just done with like, let's play with your friends next to you or let's play online. Like everything has some co op aspect to it for the most part, especially on the Switch, which I understand with the Joy Cons and all that. But I would love to get a more of single player adventure or teenage adult experiences. Yeah. So I hope they do a new IP.
They have the creative juices. At least I think they still do. Like they could totally, surprise us with something neat. And I agree, something single player. And I sure would love that because they do have this treasure trove of awesome IP that they get to rely on. But you know what? When they try and come out with something like, and I know this is multiplayer, but Splatoon is
Yeah.
such a creative and cool idea. Like I would love them to every once in a while throw a few more, I guess, development resources to something like that to start something fresh and something new. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. It's just the last, like, Splatoon to me was the last good one. Arms was good. Like, it's a good fighting game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not for me. I just don't, again, it's just, and same with like, I think they did the game 51 games game. And I think the other one was One Tooth Switch or whatever the crap. those are like games that hey, it's new IP, but dude, it's just not what I need. It's not, I'm not down for
Sure.
these multiplayer type games. I just want my old Nintendo back. Give me some of that classic feeling stuff.
I'm with
So
you, dude.
yeah, man.
That's a good point.
Any pie in the skies for you? Any last little pie in the
Yes.
skies?
So this is kind of gonna be crazy, and I know this is pie in the sky, but it will happen.
Yeah.
Is first of all, who's that walking on the stage
Hey, who you?
from the corner?
Who you?
Oh, it's Reggie. It's Reggie Fils-Aimé, who
Uh
recently left GameStop.
huh.
Reggie Fils-Aimé of GameStop. He comes out and he has his classic, his suit on, all that good stuff, and he's like, "Hey, I'm ready to kick some A and play some games," or whatever his little saying is. And he
Yeah.
reaches inside of his jacket and
Uh-huh.
he pulls out.
Yeah.
What is that?
What?
Oh, that looks like an old video game system. Is that the Game Boy Advance? And he's like, "Nah, sucker." And he flips it on, and then you see that it's backlit and it has all the games. And he's like, "It's the GBA Classic." And he says, "I'm back." And I don't know. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right.
In all seriousness, I would love, like, I love these classic consoles. I think they're the cutest things ever. I so bad want them to do a proper handheld. All these Chinese companies are coming out these cool emulation machines. Nintendo could do it so well and have like
Yeah.
the actual buttons, the actual like everything, and do such a good job and put, their 30, 40 best games that they want to put on it. I would love to see that come from Nintendo. That would be my pie in the sky. My dreams have been, I guess, granted. My wishes. Oh
Would be
man,
granted?
these pills that I'm on right now.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thank you, drugs.
Oh, but that's what I want, Dev.
Yeah, dude. Hey, the drugs are making you just envision greatness, and I love it.
Maybe I'm seeing the future.
Seeing the future, my bro. I'm down for it. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. Let's get that Game Boy. And here's the thing: where's the console been? It's been a while since we've had one. We had the SNES, and we just stopped. We are like, "Where's our classics?" We were all of us were expecting 64 last year or a GBA. Where you at? Where you at? So I think it's going to happen.
Maybe not this E3, but I think one day.
But one day it may happen. I think so. Do we think there will be a direct before this? Is there going to be one more direct, or is this the major one and no one should wait for anything? Or do you think so? We got what, June? So we got like 2 months.
We have like 2 months roughly.
Yeah.
We won't get a direct. I don't think we'll get like a proper what they call a direct. I think we'll get like their mini version, whatever they call it, or like maybe we get like a Nintendo Nindies or something like that, like something smaller. But I don't think we'll get a full on juicy direct, especially if they're going to be saving stuff to announce during E3.
Yeah, dude. A couple of weeks before, I think the Nindies might come out, the Nindies Direct, and then I think maybe even a week or a couple of weeks out, also we could see the summer games that I was talking about. If they have more to fill the fall lineup than just Zelda, which they could. If they do have more than that, I do think they would do a summer games direct, show those games off again, be like, okay, here's what's up. If that happens, then we all are in for a treat because this is going to be a big E3. And expect all the crap, expect lots of good Zelda stuff, expect your Metroid Prime trilogies, all your madness. Just, throw your bra on the stage. It's going to be great. So yeah, dude, it's going to be interesting. It's nice to see Nintendo coming to E3. Sony's decided to chill out, do their own thing. They're like, screw you, all of you. We don't need you. And Microsoft is coming to E3 as well. So it'll be nice to have E3 back again. Kind of, I like the condensed way. I like it all packed in tight. The summer of games was just a little too long for me.
Well, and it felt like it was kind of pointless. Like it has no, things are spread out that much, it's just like, oh, that's just normal. Like stuff gets announced randomly, and so having these like specific day or a couple days really makes it special.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think E3 understands, like, I don't know, the big package, it just makes it more special. You're right. Like, it's just when it's spread out, I'm like, okay, so Tony Hawk's coming. And then like a week later, this other game, it's it's torture. You're torturing me. And that
Yeah.
wasn't even that great of
Well,
announcements last year. You know, it was
yeah, but
average.
even when it's like a whole bunch of small announcements like Tony Hawk or, you know, all these little things, it just makes it feel real special. And that's the thing that I personally, and I'm sure you do as well, and a lot of people miss about E3 is like it's this moment to celebrate video games and to get excited about what's to come. And it's just this like waterfall of news and announcements. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of sad that it's gone away. And, you know, to preserve some part of that, you know, to have like a specific time that the industry celebrates, I think would be cool. Whether it's E3 or they call it something else down the road, but having something like this is special for, you know, fans of video games.
Yep. And dude, we'll be there. We'll be there to check it out. And you guys can all watch us react to these wonderful E3
Mm-hmm.
announcements when it comes. It's a holiday, dude. It's awesome. Trev, what are we going to let's go straight to what we've been playing, man. What you been up to? What you been playing with your one arm?
No, I was riding my dumb one wheel and a little kid cut me off. He ran, or he or she, I don't even know what gender, ran in front of me, and I was like, I'm going to kill this thing. So I swerved and shattered a whole bunch of bones. So I got some screws and pins and all that goodness. But so that kind of limits my my game activities, Dev.
Yeah, dude.
Like it's hard to play video games with one hand.
It
I'll tell
sounds
you.
rough. It sounds
So
real rough. Yeah.
yeah, which, and you know, with it being Monster Hunter Rise just came out a couple of weeks ago, it has been killing me, Devin. I am dying inside. I want to play this game so bad and I can't. So what I have done is I have gone to games I can play with one hand. So I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Crystal on my Game Boy Color, because I can seriously just set it on my knee and with one hand use one finger for the D-pad and the other for A and B. So I think I'm going to be, unfortunately, but fortunately, have an excuse to play a lot of old video games is what I'm going to be doing. But Devin, I have found one of the coolest things, almost like the holy grail to the situation that I'm in, Devin. Are you ready for this?
Dude, I'm so ready. Take me there, drug
Okay.
boy. Take me to your crazy
Let's
lands.
do it. That's my new nickname. That's what they've always called me. They have on Etsy, someone has, and I'm sure they're elsewhere, but they 3D printed this cool little Joy-Con bracket that holds two Joy-Cons together so you can hold it in one hand, Devin. For the last 2 days, I've been playing Monster Hunter and I've been killing it. I've actually been
really
fighting monsters one hand. Yes, and I was so skeptical, Devin. It costs like $9, and I was like, "There's no way this is gonna work.
Yeah.
That's way too many buttons for one hand." But I must be a pro or something when it comes to video games, because
not to teach your
like,
own
it
horn,
works.
but
Yeah, not to, but it's really weird. So like my left, again, this is my left hand that I have that's still functioning, but my thumb takes care of the left joystick and the D-pad, and then my four fingers kind of wrap around the other side, and my index finger controls the bumpers and triggers. My middle finger controls the ABXY, and my left ring finger controls the joystick. I know this sounds like insane, but Devin, I've gotten really good, and it is so cool that someone came up with this dumb idea, and I've been able to play a lot of games like this, and I am shocked. Like, yes, it takes some time to get my mind around it, but I'm doing so well with Monster Hunter right now that I'm like, shoot, dude, I could just do this when I'm done having my broken arm and have like a drink in the other hand and be chilling, you know? Like, it is so cool. And so if anybody is out there having an issue like this, like, they have a left hand version and a right hand version, and obviously things like first person shooters are going to be a lot harder, but you know, action games, platformers, a lot of different things, like, I'm surprised at how well this works, and this makes me so happy, because Devin, I was so sad that I wouldn't be able to play games for a couple months while in recovery.
Yeah, well, that's like crazy amazing, and just picturing the movements that you're doing with your hands, the ring finger on the joystick. unheard of, but that's
Yeah.
awesome that you like it's working, dude. That's so cool that someone like was like,
Well,
yeah, we're gonna fix this problem. That's so
right, and
cool.
it's so weird. And what I've found is that, like, for my camera controls, I had to invert them on the y-axis,
Okay.
and that made it so when I'm looking left or right, it feels more natural. And
Uh-huh.
like, so I had to play around with it, but I did a bunch of things that were just, it feels good now. Obviously, I feel like you could be a lot better having two hands,
Well,
but
yeah,
in the meantime, surprisingly, this works very well, and
that's
I am
awesome.
honestly, it's like a godsend. It's so cool.
Dude, that's so cool. And you get to play Monster Hunter Rise, which is most excellent. Chef's kiss. So
Yes.
good. Dude,
Mm.
that game is amazing. Loving
What
it.
are you playing, Dev?
I am playing Monster Hunter Rise, but we talked about it last week and gushed. It was great. It is great. It's amazing. But Trev, another 99 game dropped from the heavens, pooped itself out of the chasm, and here it is. Pac-Man 99 is so good. I love this effing game. Trev, this is
Do
a
you
game,
really?
dude. I love this game. I listen. I like Tetris 99. I like Pac-Man too. I'm a big Tetris and like Pac-Man guy. I think Pac-Man 99 is more fun than Tetris 99. Actually,
Really?
I think what they've done with it is just a little more involved. You have on your left side like different things the power-ups do, the little ball things when you eat them. You can get more speed, you can do different things to make your gameplay work for you at that moment, I guess. Or you can do
Oh,
greater
cool.
ghost lines and stuff. So there's like these little I think they were from Champion Edition or something, but in the middle there's like these lines of ghosts that will follow one of the main ghosts, and it's so nice to go get these ghosts in these giant lines and just eat them up, and it's just so good, dude. I'm like, I love the 99 series. I think this is way better than the Mario 35 thing. See you later, Mario. It's been good. Mario 35 was okay. I think it was a little messy. I think these games just work for arcade single screen games. They just make
Sure.
sense for what they are. And it takes a lot from Tetris 99. You're attacking random people or people that are fighting you, stuff like that. But just the little details in here, the things you can add to the gameplay for Pac-Man, I think it's just really fun, and it's an addictive kind of arcade experience. I haven't I've never got first place. I'm always like hanging in the top 10, 20 area, but I still love it, still
Dude,
digging
very
it.
cool.
And Trev, I don't know if you're a Pac-Man guy, but it's a good
I
one-hander.
am.
It's a good
Yes,
one-handed
I
game.
didn't even realize that came out. That is cool. Is this part of like the Nintendo online service type thing, or is this just free for everybody?
Yeah, this is the online service. It just randomly showed up. Yeah, I don't think it's free for anybody. So yeah, as soon as I think it was like a couple days ago that it came out, and it was kind of a surprise. I
Can
don't even
you?
know if they announced it actually. This Pac-Man
It just
99 thing.
stealth dropped.
Yeah, I think they said a
Do you?
couple days it will come, and then they were like, "Oh, here it is." So, anyways,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Does it have like? Can you unlock skins? Get different like
yeah.
Pac-Man skins?
Yeah, so it's like what's the company, Trev? It's an N one.
Namco?
Namco. It's a whole bunch of Namco stuff, like so Dig Dug, I think, or I
Oh,
think they
very
did Dig
cool.
Dug, but like all those kind of Namco games. So if you're into the Namco games, they have those themes and
The
stuff there.
Namco-averse?
Yeah, the Namco verse. Dude, it's a lot of fun, Trev. You should check it out. I think it's like super addicting. I love it.
I
I
will.
It's one of my favorite Pac-Man games. Like it's up there with
Uh,
Championship Edition. It's up there.
See, and yeah, the Pac-Man DX Championship, whatever
Yeah.
it, like
Uh-huh.
that game was insanely good and
Yes.
brought back this like new life to Pac-Man. And so this sounds super cool. So I'm excited to give it a go, dude.
Fan questions. Quiet Riot 77 asks, "What is the best controller made by Nintendo?" Now, Trev, I got some flack for saying the
Mm.
Wii U is a Fisher Price toy.
I saw that.
Yeah, some listen,
You
I
took some heat.
might have been a little rough on that one. Although, doesn't it feel a little cheap? Let's just say what it is. It feels a little light,
No,
doesn't
Devin,
it?
I'm gonna back
It
you
feels a
up. It
little
is
light,
Fisher
doesn't it?
Price.
Yeah,
Like,
bro, it's a
I
little
don't
light.
know. Maybe maybe it's coming off a little harsh, but like it is way too light. It's glossy, fingerprint
Yeah.
sticky,
Yep.
and also like the bezels, the size. It didn't need to be that size. They totally could have slimmed it down. I love the idea of the Wii U gamepad, but it absolutely was like a Fisher Price knockoff, weird tablet controller thing. So, dude, I know you took some flack, online about that, but I support you.
Well, it did good. It did cool things. Like I loved that the Wii U gamepad had like a menu and all that stuff. That's gravy. That's
Yeah.
cool. The things that they did with it were fine. It's just it wasn't. Yeah, it just felt Fisher Price. That's all. It just felt cheap. I think just fill your Switch and then fill your Wii U gamepad, and you just come back to me and tell me the difference. Although probably a
Totally.
little more comfortable in some ways. What's your favorite, dude? What's the one that like stands out to you of all the controllers?
Yeah, the one that stands out to me is 100% like, and I know controllers have all come a long ways, and the Pro controller is great, but for me, the SNES controller is my
Yeah.
absolute favorite. And there's something about it with playing side-scrolling platforming games and arcade games and that type of genre. Like, I have these 8-bit Do SNES kind of replicas or whatever you want to call them. And anytime I'm playing some kind of 2D platform game that I can get away by using that button layout, I will absolutely use those because I do feel like it just fits really good with that gameplay. It's not big and bulky. It just feels right. And it could be maybe that was like my golden era for video gaming back in the day, and I
Yeah.
just love it that much. But for me, that's one that will always stand out as an incredible controller for the games that were on that platform.
Exactly. And dude, that D-pad was so good. And I feel like Nintendo's D-pads have kind of I don't know, they're just not as
Gone
good as
downhill.
them. Yeah, definitely not as good as they were used to
Yeah.
be. For me, it's the GameCube. I love the GameCube. For me, like as far as the way it felt in my hands, felt really natural, felt and I love like the indentation in the triggers. A lot of well, I don't think this ever carried to any other controller where the indentations and the triggers were so deep that your finger was like sucked into that
Mm.
bad boy.
Just cradled into
Dude,
that thing.
cradled in like a sweet baby girl. It felt so nice. I loved that controller just by the comfort factor. I love those triggers being so cradled in. It's a wacky controller though. Like I don't know if it works
So
into.
wacky.
Yeah, I don't know if it like fits in today's standard of like a first. Like it wouldn't really work for first person shooters very well, especially with the C stick still being involved. They were
Right,
carrying
right.
over a lot from the 64 with the weird C thing, but now it was like a joystick, and it just was
Yeah, it's kind of like
too.
an in-betweener.
Yeah, it was in betweener because when you moved it, it kind of like had the jaggedy edges kind of a little bit, so it
Yeah,
kind of made
yeah.
it feel like a D-pad a little. Um,
Well, and the D-pad on that thing is so small and awful for
yes,
playing retro games and things like that
yes,
as well. So
yeah.
but I think overall, I think also the ergonomics, like the button placement of where your thumbs just naturally sit, feel
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, and I like the big A, I like the big B button. Those are the most obvious buttons that you always use. So for me, I'm like, that's cool to have them there. I think what they did with it, it worked for like for your system, like SNES controller worked for those games. I think it really worked for the GameCube games. Um, but again, I don't know if it would work so well today. After that,
Sure.
obviously Switch Pro, it's a good controller. My only problem with that controller is that I don't like that it doesn't have a headphone jack. It's really annoys me. I'm like, why did you not put a headphone jack in this thing? It's like $70. It's more expensive than all the other controllers. Well, not so much anymore, but it was. And
But close.
yeah, and I'm like, why? What's up, bro? What? We can't put a jack in this thing at least so I can hear my games without bugging people. I don't know.
Yep.
That's a bummer for me, and I feel like that's like the one thing that controller could do better. Because other than that, I love the feel of it. I think it's a great controller, great battery
Sure.
life, all that stuff. But yeah, Yohama2278 asks, are Japanese style games losing their importance in the industry today? It seems that most games these days are made for a Western audience, even those made in Japan. Trev, do you feel that?
Yeah, I do in a way, but I feel like there's still that reverence for uh, Japanese gaming, and I don't know. I feel like yes, I don't think it's as important because it has become such a world. No matter where you are, people love playing games. But I do feel
Uh-huh.
like there is still that reverence where people have that nostalgia and that soft spot in their heart for it. That I don't think that we're going to see it really go away. But I think maybe as importance, yeah, I think we are opening it up to a huge, you know, difference in different people from all around the world, different backgrounds making games now, and I think that's probably for the better. But it's cool that I think that people still have that uh interest and just that love for Japanese style games.
Yeah, I think Japanese style games, of course, exist still, but I think the heavy hitters that felt very Japanese at the beginning, like Final Fantasy and well, almost every single one that I can think of has kind of definitely westernized itself. Final Fantasy, like the last one, was like they have some of those RPG elements, but it's very much action based, that kind of different kind of feel. You have some games, of
Right.
course, like Yakuza and other games that feel, have that fun wackiness that Japan brings that I really love from Japan. But it does seem like you just look at Sony and what they're like doing these days, and you can see that they don't care about Japan like they used to. And I think it's just they don't sell as many consoles anymore in Japan. And probably, and it doesn't bug them. I mean, they have the highest selling console, one of the highest selling consoles, a couple times now. But now it just seems like they're kind of losing their interest in the Japanese type games. And you look at the games that they make, and they're very much, westernized type games. You got Last of Us and all these big
Yeah, totally.
western type games for them. And you rarely see like the old school Sony where it was more like, hey, these are like cool Japanese games that are exclusive to the PlayStation. It just doesn't happen as much anymore. The ones that you see now are kind of indie. They're kind of like smaller companies that you'll see from that will be on a Nintendo system sometimes, So I don't know. I think they are losing their influence in some ways.
Yep.
uh, Final recommendations, Trev. What do we got? What is your final recommendation? This is where we give something we thought was awesome. It could be video games or otherwise. Yours, Trev. What do you got?
Yeah, mine is more otherwise, is just dealing with, and I have so much more respect for those that have been put in a situation where they are, a disabled gamer, whether it's missing a limb or not being able to have control of certain body parts, all those different things. And that brought so much more awareness to me about like what other people go through and what they do in order to play games. So I've been watching a lot of cool YouTube videos and people figuring out ways to still be able to play video games and enjoy this medium. And I want to say, out of all the companies out there, like Microsoft has done an incredible job. Their adaptive controller and their just openness to allow it to work on any other platform that will, be cool with that, I
Yeah,
think is so cool, because we need more of that in the industry, and to allow people to play no matter what situation, physically, mentally, whatever they're going through, that they can still enjoy this medium. Because like, you know what, like for people going through crap, this is a pretty good thing to have available to you to help you mentally cope with things, and to get your
yeah,
mind off of crappy situations or whatever it is. And so I just want to applaud Microsoft for just being so I, just so thoughtful and
yeah.
willing to put resources and money behind something that's definitely not going to make them money. But I think this goes a long ways, and I think we need to see more of this from the likes of Sony and Nintendo.
Yeah. Microsoft gets it, dude. And I think this is really going to help them. I think you're starting to see it too, that a lot of people are going to start switching. I think more people, I don't know if everyone, but more people are going to start switching and following Xbox because they get it. Like they understand their fans. They understand what it is that games are, to these people. It's like you can have all these hundreds of games, dude. That's something for you. And there you get the day ones too. That's for you guys. And you guys that can't play games because guess what? Life happens and it's, like Trev, you didn't know you're gonna break your effing arm. Or, but
No. Not at all.
shiz happens. And, for you, this is a big deal because you like to play games. Some people will be like, it's a silly hobby. No, it isn't, dude. It's a hobby that gives you distraction from the day to day, and it's fun. It's entertaining, just like movies or any other entertainment, books, whatever. So just to take
Absolutely.
that out of people's lives is bullcrap. And so it's silly that, to find a Nintendo thing, you have to go through Etsy, but
Right?
Microsoft has shiz, like Microsoft is
Yeah.
there for its people. And that stuff is going to make them a company that people are going to want to follow. So yeah, good on
Yep.
Microsoft, dude. Good on them. That's awesome,
100%.
dude. For me, I I'm interested in, like, I don't know, like politics and philosophy and that kind of stuff. That's like my second interest. And then I got games. So
Nice.
all kinds of random stuff. But I really was interested in QAnon. And so I checked out on HBO Max a show called Q into the Storm. Uh, Warning, it's a little adulty, so be careful if you're not into that kind of stuff. It's not all that way. It's a documentary. It's not like it's just recording what's happening in
Right, right.
these guys' lives, but very interesting. If you're interested in QAnon or into why that even happened, what it's about, that's the people that some of the people that stormed the Capitol in the U.S. That kind of stuff. If you're into that, it's an interesting, thoughtful, and like really like kind of cool like mystery documentary, which you're kind of like, are these guys the Q? Like, so this guy's really trying to figure out who this Q is, which is a guy that has posted things on 8chan that people have to uh, decode and figure out. And anyways, and it brings up questions about like, how far should free speech go? Is too much free speech a bad thing? And for me, it changed some views in my head of what free speech should be or shouldn't be. It's very interesting, so check it out. It's really quite it's cool mystery documentary. I think people would like, especially if you're into that kind of stuff. If you're not into it, yeah, obviously not going to be for you. But
No,
Q
but
into the Storm.
sounds very interesting. Very
Yeah,
cool.
it's Q. Is Q Qing.
It's
Anyways,
Q.
it's Q. Uh, everyone, thanks for watching and listening to this wonderful show. Make sure you visit our website at nintendoshow.com. Follow us on Facebook and at the Nintendo Show. Remember to like, share, rate us on the podcast service of your choice, and leave us a review on iTunes. Always check out Weekly Recharge on YouTube for more of us regarding all things nerd and game culture. That's where we do all of our other stuff that's not Nintendo related. So go check that out. But right now, if you subscribe, you like, and comment on there, you're going to be entered to win a free video game. So that's something we're doing for a little bit. So make sure you guys do that. Doesn't hurt you. You get a free game, good stuff, and you get to see more of us. So that's pretty exciting. Until next time, you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we will see you. Bye.